a fantasy, the pizza's trying to eat me. I'm living in a fantasy, the desks are biting me. I'm getting really freaked out in this fantasy. This thing right beside me, at night it becomes very scary. I'm having trouble in this fantasy, it's very hard to breathe. I'm getting really freaked out in this fantasy. The lights are turning on automatically. I feel like everything's going wrong in this fantasy. I'm living in a fantasy, everything's scary, everything's barking at me. At night the Stuffies try to help me, but some of them don't really know. Whoa, some of them don't really know, but I'm living in a fantasy. Oh, sometimes I want to live in a different place than a fantasy. Oh, I'm living in a fantasy. I'm living in a fantasy. The bananas are candy. Everything's not healthy in this fantasy. This owl cannot fly yet. It doesn't help me. Some of the bananas are erasers. Everything's but tasters. Everything's erasers. I can't even eat. I can eat candy and I can eat. That's all I can eat is candy, candy. I'm living in a fantasy. The dogs are barking at me. Everything's rushing and rushing and rushing and rushing. I'm living in a fantasy. The dogs are barking at me. Everything's rushing around in this fantasy. They're rushing around in this fantasy. They're rushing, 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 rushing. I'm living in a fantasy. The gorillas are climbing around me. They jump into my bed. They eat all of my food. And I get very, very, very tired. I'm living in a fantasy. Everything's scary. Well, not everything. The Stuffies come alive and they comfort me. And they also try to protect me. I'm living in a fantasy. I'm very dizzy in this fantasy. I'm living in the fantasy. The lights flicker all night like this, like this, like this. I'm living in a fantasy. Living in a fantasy. I'm living in a fantasy. I'm living in a fantasy.